Hello, Marcus Lim here with Star Trek Year 5, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 2. So this is second volume, 2 of 2. So we had Volume 1, which was, I think, came out approximately a year ago, okay, which collects, I think, 14 issues of Star Trek Year 5. So this collects the rest, I think 15 to 25. Okay, so Star Trek Year 5, Deluxe Edition, Volume 2, and this is near the end of their 5-year mission. As you know, the TV series only gave us 3 years, right? But this is sort of like what would have happened if they had continued for 5 years, right? So, as I mentioned, this collects issues 15 to 25, and also a Star Trek Year 5 Valentine's Day Special one-shot. Okay, so yeah, quite a lot of issues in there, isn't it? 1525, that's like 11, 12, so about 12 issues. So yeah, so that's what's in this volume. And this cover is from one of the issues. And I'll show it to you when we get to the issue. I don't actually have the single issues. I don't tend to collect the single issues for Star Trek comics. So I'm just getting them all in collected edition, like this one, right? So this one doesn't actually have any dust jacket, right? It's just what you see is what you get, right? Just a hardcover with the cover on it. Okay, so book 2. Let's see. Okay, episode 8. So starts with episode 8. So volume 1. This one ended with episode 7. So in episode 8, Vote Mud. Vote Mud. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is the epilogue. Okay. Yeah, epilogue is just one issue 25. Alright, so let's have a look. So yeah, Vote Mud. So this is episode 8, right? Vote Mud, yeah, episode 8. And this one, so where we left off in volume 1, they had just dealt with the Klingon threat. So now they are on their way back to Earth, and we have some politics going on. Harry Mudd comes back, so that's the surprising thing. I guess it's why it's called Vote Mud, because it is a election sort of for the president of the United Federation of Planets, right? Gary 7 also comes back, and he has plans of his own. But yeah, this is all about presidency, which sounds relevant, isn't it? Given that we just had a presidential election in 2024. But remember, this was published back in 2020, so this may have had, coincided with the 2020 presidential election. Right, so okay, Vote Mud. So that's it for that storyline. And then we get to this episode 9, Weaker Than Man. This only goes for one issue, I think. It's all about Gary 7 and the origin of Gary 7, which is interesting, right? Because I don't think we've ever had a true origin story told before. We get to see how he teams up with this ISIS, and also what the overall grand plan is for Gary 7, right? Gary 7 will feature quite heavily towards the end, so that's why I think they're introducing him there. And then, so we get to episode 10, On the Death of a Friend, and this one is a spotlight, I think, more on Dr. McCoy, right? I think it involves some kind of pandemic which is unleashed by ISIS, right? So Dr. McCoy is obviously trying to find a cure. So again, right, the pandemic, this was again published 2020, so definitely had relevance to the COVID outbreak at the time. And then we get to episode 11, Captains of Sea and War. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So this one is, oh, actually, I think this is the Valentine Special, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure why they put it right in the middle. But yeah, so this looks like the Valentine Day Special. Laura Ron is Captain Kirk's love interest. Okay. Yeah, Valentine's Day Special. Alright. And then we get episode 12. Yeah, episode 12, Under the Raptor's Wings. So this is a spotlight on Spock. Right? He's transported into the past, into a pivotal moment in Vulcan history, where there's this rift between the the logical Vulcans and also the more, I guess, emotional ones, right? And that's how the Romulans came about. He also encountered Surak, right? So that's really a pivotal moment. He has the conflict between his human and Vulcan self as well. And then we get to a crypt called Ithaca. So I think this is like from issue 22, 23, 24. Bright Eyes, the Thorian that they sort of saved like in early on in year 5, plays a pivotal role. But yeah, essentially this 3-part finale, it just feels like a 3-part finale to a TV show, right? Where you've got, in this case, you've got time travel, you've got lots of ships exploding. The Thorians come back with a vengeance, full force. Gary 7 comes back, he has his own agenda. Right? Now Bright Eyes does play a pivotal role, as I mentioned. But yeah, it's at the end, right, it ties everything up very nicely. All this, like story arc and all the threads come together, and that's the end. But we do have an epilogue, which is issue 25, which sort of bridges between this original series and the motion picture. We get each of these characters, like Spock, going on their own merry way, right? Spock going off the Vulcan for culinary training. McCoy also getting a call back. And here you go. Here's Scotty and Uhura. Kirk himself is now Admiral, obviously, but as we know from the motion picture, the human adventure is just beginning. So here's the covers, I guess. Oh, actually no. Yeah, some of the variants maybe. Yeah, issue 18, right? Issue 19, issue 20, 21, and this is 22. So that's this from issue 22, right? So 23, 24, 25, and that's it. So Deluxe, Star Trek Year 5 Deluxe Edition Volume 2. So now the collection is complete. We've got Volume 1 and then Volume 2. Okay? And as I mentioned, yeah, I mean, we didn't get to see Year 5 in the TV show, but this is, I guess, as perhaps one of the best depictions of what would happen, like in Year 5 of Star Trek the original series, before the motion picture happens. So there you go, Star Trek Year 5, the Deluxe Edition Volume 2. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in another video.